Okay. This is Shelley Curran
And Carol Reed.
and we're reporting current news. Overfishing is a global problem with many serious social, economic, and environmental issues.
On a massive scale, our oceans are under pressure to meet the needs of growing populations in developing countries and a growing appetite for fish and seafood in developing nations.
Our first interview is with Professor Annette. How does overfishing affect the environment?
Well, it decreases the population of many fish because fish of all ages and sizes are caught, disallowing species to recover. And if you imbalance a food web, it can lead to extinction in species, genetic changes, and destruction of ecosystems. In that case, numerous species would be extinct, and the habitat may be uninhabitable or deprived of many important nutrients and elements necessary for the species there to survive.
What percentage of the world's fisheries are in danger of being overexploited?
More than 85% of the world's fisheries have been pushed beyond their biological limits and are in need of strict management plans to restore them. Several important commercial populations, such as the Atlantic bluefin tuna, have declined to the point where their survival as a species is threatened.
How do unsustainable fishing practices affect marine ecosystems?
Because bottom trawling involves dragging a net across the ocean floor. It's like clear-cutting an entire forest. It destroys coral reefs and ocean habitats. It also catches up to 20 pounds of bycatch for every targeted pound, selling a turtle disaster for protected endangered species like sea turtles, whales, sharks, and even dolphins.
Thank you. Next, we're going to interview an economic expert. Here with me today is Mr. Sheldon Jones, who graduated from McGill University with a PhD in economics. So, Mr. Jones, in your opinion, how does overfishing in Canada affect our economy?
In the short term, it seems like the more we fish, the more we can export and sell, thus contributing positively to our economy. It is like this that many fishing corporations think, and it is true that in the present, more fish leads to a better economy.
But what about in the long run?
Well, in the bigger picture, we do have to remember that fish stocks are finite and can be depleted if not fished responsibly. And with only the short-term way of thinking, we already have and are continuing to deplete fish stocks. Once a certain species of fish starts to drop drastically in population, the amount of income received from fishing will also drastically fall, hurting our economy in the long run.
And why do you think people fail to look towards the future?
Overall, it seems to be much easier to look at the present and to capitalize on profits than to look at the future and to preserve possible sources of income for future generations.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Shelley Curran, CYC News. Our next interview is with the CEO of Aurora Marine Harvest. Welcome, Mr. Goldfish.
Yes.
So do you think overfishing is a noticeable problem?
See, overfishing is a hyped up problem. There's organizations that'll tell you that only fish that they certify is sustainable, and you should not get other fish. That's simply propaganda. We use sophisticated technology with sustainable fishing practices, and much of the fish comes from aquaculture. That's all there is to it.
But what about the noticeable decline in fishing stocks?
That's a temporary problem. Newer methods of fishing strive from aquaculture, meaning that there is less of a need from those resources. Those who do fish in natural areas will find it increasingly more expensive to fish until it no longer becomes profitable. Thus, companies such as mine will strive, and overfishing is not the problem.
Next, we're going to head down to the port.
Advances in fishing equipment and methods and increasingly large vessels have made commercial fishing operations more efficient than ever. This access is causing a boatload of problems, like putting increasing pressure on fish stocks and also having an effect on the ability of smaller scale fishing operations to make a living. Excuse me, sir, what's your name?
Ahoy there, matey. My name is Oyster Shoes.
What is overfishing to you?
Back in my day, there were plenty of fish in the sea. All you needed was a net. But now, they're caught faster than they can reproduce. You don't want to be caught when you reproduce. You see, because there's not much oversight in these open waters, so these ghost fishers, these spooky fishermen, they fish, and they don't report their catch. They'll catch up to 20% more stock than they're allowed. That is not good for the future of fishing.
And how has this affected your community?
Well, the fish population, they're decreasing quickly, and less fish make it to mating grounds every year. Fish are also harder to catch, and with every landing, there's less fish. So we just have to go out there and fish even more, just to get the same amount.
What are you doing to overcome this problem?
You see, us fishermen, we live for the immediate payoff of fishing. Sadly, I am also a ghost fisher, I really do feel bad about it, but I have a family to feed. If they go hungry when I don't bring back enough food. I can't help it, and many fellows of mine are in the same situation. It is really unfortunate, it really is. It would be a disaster of epic proportions if this keeps on happening. It could very well be.
The perfect storm.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Back to you at the studio. Now I'm going to interview the CEO of the MSC. I'm with Mr. Samuel Smith, the CEO of the MSC. Mr. Smith, do you think overfishing is really a problem?
Of course. The whole function of the Marine Stewardship Council is to address this problem. The world's fisheries are rapidly diminishing, and failing to ensure that the fishing environment is sustainable is detrimental.
So if it's a big problem, what are we supposed to do?
It's hard to get people to contribute to this cause, which is a major reason for the creation of the MSC. However, everyone can help. Be sure that the fish you buy is MSC certified. Look for the official seal of approval, which shows that the fish has been sustainably fished. It sounds cheesy, but it's incredibly important that everyone is aware of this issue, and spread the word. A simple dinner table conversation could determine if you continue to eat that fish or if it will be a food of the past.
I'm sure this will help.
Overfishing is not a problem we can just wave away.
If we want to continue enjoying the bounty of the seas, we definitely can't just bait it out or leave it for salmon else to fix. But if we work together on this issue, anything is possible.